Doing episode 3.
Yes.
Ka.
We just I watched it so long ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know. I've got it pulled up right now.
Okay.
Are we doing like a recap and everything? We're just jumping in and talking about episode 3.
Really quick recap since it's an after show. We we all went through this and we're like, wait, if they're listening to us, they've probably already watched this. So let's do it
Right.
real quick and then let's talk about it. Okay.
Oh my
What
god, what is the group that she's in called now? Fuck, I can't remember.
is it? The clandestine?
Clandestine. Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna hold on. I'm gonna turn the light on behind me. I'm like, why is this so dark?
Is it okay? Am I letting okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm. I realized it's like wow. I'm like it's pretty bright, but that's because it's usually bright. That's fine. Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to the
Hi.
welcome. Good morning and welcome to the Full Volume Podcast. We're just going to start this bitch right off, and Josh is here with me.
What's up?
Yay! Thank you for joining me,
Hey,
Josh.
no problem.
Okay. Josh is joining me today, as you can see, because our fabulous, wonderful, beautiful, smart, talented co-host is lost in euphoria, and by that I mean he's at Toronto Pride. So it's Monday. It's a work day. He's probably on a boat at work, recovering somewhere. So Godspeed. That's why we have Josh.
Uh,
But I mean, we're both barely here, so it doesn't even matter.
honestly.
Oh God, yeah. Between Saturday, which was the show, and then Sunday, I helped a friend move, and then today, because we all both have like both of our stores are closed, I'm helping her move again, like the rest of their stuff. I feel
Right?
like I'm gonna be dead, but hey,
Whew.
whatever.
Yeah. This is my last week at my current job before I start my new one. So
Are you allowed to talk about your
I
new
don't know,
job?
actually. I don't know if I'm
Oh,
allowed to talk about it.
okay. Well, folks at home listening, and we
But
hear you, Columbia, number 64. We are number 64 in Colombia for
whoa.
TV review podcasts on Apple Podcasts.
Whoa, that's
Out of
crazy.
100, that means 40 other podcasts are listened to less than ours. 36?
That's more. Way more.
Yeah,
This is more than just 100.
my math. This is not a math podcast. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's right. Anyway, we'll just cut right to the chase. Okay, I wanted to bring Josh on here because, other than Brent not being here, I know that every time Miss Marvel drops, there's like excited text flurries between Josh and Michael and Becca, who hasn't watched it. That's just
Oh my
like,
goodness.
yeah.
It's so good. I'm a big Miss Marvel fan. She's one of my favorite characters in the comics now. Like she's just introduced very recently, like only like 6 years probably she's been in a thing. Like when is it? Let me see.
2014?
First, yeah,
11.
something like that. Let me see. First appearance was, oh my god. Of course, it's bringing me Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel.
Mhm.
Uh, she
I,
appeared in Captain Marvel number 14 in August 2013. And then she had her own book by February of 2014.
and it
So
premiered
she,
with all that wonderful Marvel Now stuff.
right. So like this is she's a very, very, very brand new character and she like quickly became one of my favorites ever.
Hmm.
Um and I think that they're doing a fantastic job bringing her as a character into the MCU and to live action, and then also um, like the style of her comic, even like translated over to like the style of the show is just perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Um, the one thing that is weird, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it on the show too, but her power switch is like still kind of bothers me a little bit, but the
Yeah.
show is just still so good that I'm like
Eh,
kind of almost over it.
yeah,
But
kind of almost.
I just don't like that they made her power so pretty.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like the whole point, like a big point of her powers is like she struggled with um her heroes having these like really cool, badass, like beautiful powers. Captain Marvel has these like supersonic, like beautiful explosions and stuff, and she's left with like her skin like stretching and kind of like she thought it was so ugly, and she struggled with her appearance a lot, and it kind of like came through with her powers, and that was a big part of the comic. So um that's why I'm kind of like it's a bummer that her power has changed.
Hmm.
Not even I don't care about her origin and the Terrigen Mist and Inhumans and all that. Who cares? Change that. But who cares about the Inhumans? But
The answer
it's
is no one.
yeah. But it's the embiggening that is kind of like I'm missing a little bit in this. Just like the how weird it looks and her like struggling with that. And like, can she be a superhero if she's got this like power that's like not as cool as everybody else's? But in this, she's got like big purpley pink sparkly magic like everybody else does. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
all right. But
Yeah. I kind of get I kind of get why they would do it for a television show. I too am like I'm really excited about Miss Marvel, as I've discussed with Brent before, but I'm also just a little bit disappointed
yeah.
that they didn't, because I all I remember about Kamala Khan is that big hand on a stretched arm.
Hmm.
Like it's just synonymous with like the name, and I'm kind of sad that I don't get to see it, but that's okay because characters in the show calling her the Nightlight is probably also like a really great thing
Yeah, it's
too.
pretty funny.
Yeah, and like them acknowledging that it's kind of like, that's kind of weird. Nah, it doesn't work. Yeah, it works. I like it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they're still kind of getting over it. They're not calling her Ms. Marvel.
Hmm.
So yeah. Okay, so like in this episode, the last episode we left off, Kamran, Kamran grabs her from, right, from
Right. She's
the
being
volley.
chased. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh no,
She's
E.
being chased. I think after saving the kid, right?
Oh
The
yes, that's
agents are now after her, I think, and as she's running away, he like opens up a car door and is like, "Come on, hop in."
mhm, mhm. And then we discover that this woman she is seeing in her visions, who in the comics is Carol Danvers, but in the show is turns out to be Kamran's quote mother. Is it Najma? I
Yes, I think so.
Yes. So she takes they drive back to their lair. She finds out there's more. She's told Kamala is that there's the cat is scratching at my door. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Let me just let her in. Okay, fine. Can you hear that?
No,
Okay, she's not close enough to the microphone. I'm gonna roll back into frame and she's gonna want out immediately. Okay, it's just been me and her all
kind of
morning.
sounds like kind of
Oh, I
sounds like
saw.
him.
Yep. Oh. Hello,
You
sir.
see him?
Yep.
Oh,
Is he looking at us?
yeah. Good morning. What's up?
Hi, bud.
He's grumpy today.
Oh, he's like, you know what? Just do your stuff and then we'll
Yeah,
talk.
he's like, don't. He wouldn't even go outside this morning. I was like, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's in a mood.
He had a big night. He was like, no, leave me
Yeah,
alone. I ate sticks.
yeah. Oh
Okay, so
my
no, it's exactly like a, fraternity drunk. You just get out, overindulge, barf in the
That's
middle of the night,
you know what?
feel
That's
like crap in the
exactly
morning.
what it is too. Because like after we go to grandma's house, he gets so excited. He gets to run around in the backyard. He's asleep for like an entire day at least afterwards. Like he's hungover the next day.
It's from
Yeah.
he's joy hungover.
Yeah. I've got to like coax him into eating food. He's like, I can't. It's too much. He's like, no, I think I'm just gonna lay here.
Just some dry toast,
Yeah.
please. And maybe my rubber ball.
Oh God.
That's the cutest. That's the sweetest. Also, sorry, speaking of pet friends, we want to just give a shout out to our great friend Bex Luther, who we haven't been able to get on the show yet, but is a huge fan of Miss Marvel, who just recently, her and her partner became parents. Yay!
Yay, cat parents. But
Yes,
yeah.
cat parents. She she sent us all a text message that said, "I'm a mother," and it was accompanied by a little orange fuzzy face. Anyway,
I'm
now
so
there's
happy. She's
yeah,
really wanted a cat for a long time too. So
yeah, and we really wanted her to have a cat for a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So we're finally glad that they pulled the trigger on that one. And I was actually able to see her like Sunday
Oh
night.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, and we just sat there and looked through Josh's phone of just photos. There are
Oh.
like a zillion photos already of this cat on his phone.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love
Okay,
that.
it's so good. Oh, you're gonna scream on Wednesday. I hope she grabs her phone and shows you, or at least texts
Yeah.
them all to you first, because they're great. Where did we leave off? Okay, so
Oh, yeah, we're
they're
kind of going through the episode. Yeah, yeah, we
okay.
still haven't done that yet.
Long story short, she's told by a group of people that the bangles were being sought after to return them. They haven't said what they are yet, to return them home to their home world. And Kamala's like, cool. So I'm one of you, and she's like, yeah, we're probably you probably know us better by the name we're Jin. And she's like, excuse me. And then we get one of those classic like Edgar Wright style cuts. Um, Hilarity and troubling because tell the folks at home what a Jin is.
A Jin, they're in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
They're also known as the clandestine, so they're like genies. Um, it's like another group of superheroes. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. It turns out in this they're maybe not so good. Uh, because as the episode goes on, Kamala has to kind of like struggle with whether she can use her powers to send them back to another dimension. And Bruno thinks it's kind of dangerous. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna like take a couple days and think about it. Gonna go to my brother's wedding and like just have a day for me, and I'll come back and decide the next day. Clandestine didn't like that. So they actually crashed the wedding, and they're kind of like dangerous people. They've got these like crazy weapons and stuff. So Kamala pulls the fire alarm, so everybody is evacuated out of the building. She dons her costume and kind of like is getting people out, and while like fighting with the clandestine the entire time. And we leave off where she's able to like escape. And when she gets back home, she kind of has like a final uh like conflict and argument with her parents. And she goes to her room and she gets a call from her grandmother
mhm,
in Pakistan,
mhm.
and she says, "You need to get here right away." And she has like the twin bangle, like the other bangle that belongs to with the one that she has.
Exactly.
So,
So it turns out these bangles are pretty powerful. It's
mm,
and is it her grandmother or her great grandmother that was in the tomb where they were like unearthing it originally?
yeah, I think it was her great grandmother
Mhm. Her
with
great
the
grandmother, Aisha,
Aisha.
who, yeah, who ends up disappearing or has disappeared. No one knows where she went. And that's the story so far. So, yeah, we leave off and her grandma's trying to get her to karachi. And it's like, okay, how's that going to happen? And she's like, my mom's not going to let me. She's like, well, bring your mom. However, her brother just had this gigantic, fantastic wedding, and mom wasn't there, which they kind of like lamented about.
Right.
And we find out from mom, who is gossiping with one of the aunties, that like she also was not at her wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So this feud or whatever it is, this rift has been in existence between mom and grandma for a while because of potentially what happened to great grandma. Okay, so thoughts, concerns, critiques on dance moves.
Yeah, I'm loving it. The MCU's like we're gonna have Bollywood like dance numbers in all our movies now.
Yep, I hope
Yeah,
so.
because we got that in Eternals too.
Yep.
I kind of had the same feel. I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah.
I love Bruno's relationship with the family. It's so good, and it really feels like a friend who's kind of been like adopted into a family, and how that friend and the family just kind of like bond immediately, and they're like one and the same.
Yeah.
I love the scene where Abu uh goes into the corner store and sees Bruno, and
Yeah.
he's like sneaking the snacks, but then he's also like helping Bruno translate the Hindi
Yeah.
for on like that's on the bracelet or whatever, and he thinks that it's homework, but they're like he's acting as if Bruno is his son in the scene. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
no like, oh, hello, how are you? Like it feels so natural and not awkward like a family uh kids friend relationship that you normally see in shows. I really love their dynamic in this.
Yeah. And it's so relatable because I think so many of us have those relationships
Hmm.
with our friends, and those friends have those kinds of relationships with our parents. Like I grew up sort of watching that on TV, and it was sort of stilted in a way, but seeing your typical like white friend be friends with your immigrant parents, that is super super relatable and
Hmm.
not something that you see often. Because I grew up just believing that all of my quote white friends, that all of their parents were like this, and that I wished my parents could be like this, because
Right.
I was over at friends' houses, but no one was ever over at our house. One, we lived on the farm, a farm in the middle of nowhere, so like no one, I
Mm.
was not accessible as a friend. And like, you know, in third world countries, we're where we're from. What's a play date? What are those? Like, my parents didn't like they parents had kids back then to entertain the other kids. So we didn't have a lot of people over. I don't know. I mean, I certainly was friends with my friend's parents the way that Bruno. Whatever. I didn't think that this kind of relationship between Kamala's friend could exist
Mm.
because it wasn't there for me. But seeing it on television is like sort of legitimizing my existence
Yeah.
as a
It's
teenager.
it's nice because I've had relationships with friends' parents like this, and then I've had friends who have had relationships like this with my parents and like my family. So it's yeah, it's really cool to see, and I think they're doing it really well, and it feels like natural. No
Yeah,
part of it feels like it's like they're forcing them together and to like be friends.
no, and Bruno and her dad get along so well. Like he comes over and he sets up Alexa, or
Hmm.
just walking into Bruno's convenience store. Like forget forget the fact that like usually it's Asian people that own the convenience store, or it's not
Mm.
even addressed. It doesn't even matter. Bruno probably works there. It's probably not even a family thing. But like that's not what you know what I mean? Like that's not what's at stake. And like I feel like 10 years ago they would have made light of that as a joke or
Right.
whatever. And now it's just like, no, 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 we're past that shit. We're on to like what do these relationships between all these people look like? And um these are what Muslims look like. Western world. They're not all like hijab, like all the women, they're not ill like in hijabs, hiding their faces. there are the way that uh the way that there are many different kinds of Christians, there are different kinds of people. You know, like some are more formal, some are more strict in their practice, exactly the way Christians and Catholics are. So it was weird because I had explained it to somebody who
Mhm.
thought that, this version of a Muslim woman is exactly what I see. They're like, why is her friend wearing a hijab and she's not? I'm like, because they're different. They
Mhm.
come from different upbringings. And like I love that about this show.
Yeah.
It just does it, and it doesn't ask for permission, and it doesn't explain or be over apologetic for what it is, which is great. Ooh.
Yeah, it's the representation I found has always been really great with Miss Marvel.
Mhm.
Even starting in the comics with like her creator being of a Muslim background and kind of incorporating that into the character, and it's just like a natural like thing that the character does. Like it's secondhand nature. It's not like forced or like trying
Mhm.
to be like a thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, it feels just as natural as Peter Parker working at the Daily Bugle, and that being a part of it, just a part of his life, just like another aspect of the character is him being a photographer. She is Muslim, and it's just like something that is a part of her, and it's so great.
Mhm.
I think it's incorporated into the show so well too. Like I love seeing like like the festival and then the wedding. Like there's just so many like things that are just like part of it, and now changing her origin from being an inhuman to a clandestine and like having it as a jinn, because
Mhm.
jinns are such a part of that culture. um I think it's actually kind of a really good origin swap. Like it's kind of cool that we're getting this like new side of the character that is um incorporated in her background and her family. Like it's pretty fun.
Mhm. So the big question is,
Mhm.
will Bruno go to MIT?
Yeah, I hope so. He
Yeah,
better.
I know.
If he doesn't, oh man, I'm gonna be sad. I'm
He
sorry, can you hear this?
No, I
He is
have.
snoring so loud. As long
Oh,
as you can't hear it on the record, that's fine.
I mean, now that you've said it, I'm listening for it. Wow, he's really just gassed.
Yeah.
He is snoring so
It
loud.
is so loud, even with like my headphones on.
Yeah.
God.
Everybody, get a
And
Frenchie if you enjoy snorting and
farting
boogers and.
and burping in your face.
Mhm.
He'll come up to me, "Hey, can I get up?" I'm like, "Oh, you want to snuggle? Yeah, sure." I pick him up. He gets right in my face. He comes in, burps, and leaves. Like, you little asshole. Like, you're such a jerk.
Yeah,
Uh,
I.
yeah. No, he has no boundaries. He stinks. He's
Yeah,
also needy at the same time.
he's been a jerk since Josh pushed him out of his womb. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's true. I learned
cutest,
it from you, Dad.
cutest, sweetest little jerk, but still a
Uh,
jerk.
yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
love.
so where do we think it'll go from here? Do you think? Okay, she's obviously going to travel.
Which is wild because there's 3 episodes left, and she's like, I'm very surprised she's leaving Jersey
Yeah,
for this. Like, I wonder how that's gonna work.
or maybe Grandma comes. Hopefully, since they filmed this during COVID, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely did. I think the actress, she was talking about how um while filming, like on set, WandaVision was out.
Mm,
So she was like in between takes, she would pull out her phone and watch WandaVision on her phone.
mhm.
So yeah, it had to have been during COVID that they were in the middle of doing this. So
Yeah. So
uh,
maybe they didn't travel to.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Like, where do they usually go that doubles for India? Or sorry, Karachi's in Pakistan.
Pakistan,
Sorry.
yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Um,
I don't know when
yeah,
they.
a lot of places. Eh, whatever they do, they'll do it well, and I'll be excited for it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I'm super pumped.
yeah. I'm at a loss for what even is going to happen, honestly, in this because it's a brand new origin, new story.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. Are they going to get stuck here? Are they going to be able to go back home? Or is she going to like use both bracers and it's going to like change the power? Or like I have no idea what's going to happen.
right.
It also feels like it's connected to Shang-Chi now.
Yeah, explain.
Well, the bracers, I think it's the same thing as the 10 rings.
Oh,
If you look on the ground in the when they're digging
hmm,
in the beginning, when the clandestine are talking about like the background where they found the bracers, when they zoom out, the 10 ring symbol is on the ground in the tomb where the jinn is buried. So
exciting! Oh my gosh.
yeah, I think it's at least gonna it's the same type of like thing or made by the same type of people, but I don't know exactly where it's leading. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think they said in Shang-Chi where the Ten Rings came from. They just knew it was like a big thing. They like started a beacon, right? Now that's the Avengers are involved.
yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some sort of like Mark Ruffalo cameo or something at the end, bringing Kamala into the Avengers because of the bracers sending off another signal.
Oh, it's getting exciting, folks. So, is this your favorite Marvel Disney Plus TV show to date?
It's close. It's up there. Like I really love WandaVision a lot still. Like
Too.
it's just so I don't know. It
Yeah.
was so fun.
Yeah. And then since they
But
wrapped that up in Doctor Strange, I loved it even more.
mhm.
Yeah. I think for me, it goes like WandaVision, then Miss Marvel. And Miss Marvel has replaced Hawkeye. Hawkeye, who I
Yeah,
never thought would make that list.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's up there with Hawkeye for me and Moon Knight. I know you guys didn't like Moon Knight a whole lot.
Sorry.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
I think I'm
And
going to give Moon Knight another watch.
yeah.
Yeah. Because there are things about Moon Knight that I really liked. And then immediately after seeing things that I liked, something would happen that would make me hate the show.
Mm,
But, you know, girl loves Egyptian mythology. I love mythology. If you
mhm,
incorporate mythology from the real world into this like real world, real
mhm.
superpowered world, I'm into it.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Even with this, right? Like
Hmm,
incorporating the gin, it's super fun.
hmm, hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Any last thoughts or things we missed
hmm
that you feel like are
I'm
important?
yeah, I'm curious to see how like the final confrontation is gonna go.
Hmm.
My only worry is that it's gonna turn into a big portal in the sky, like Moon Knight did.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why Moon Knight uh was a little bit more of a letdown because I feel like everything about the show was like different and unique into the last episode when it turned into a superhero movie. Like before, it was kind of like action adventure Indiana Jones type of movie
Hmm.
that also dealt with like a mental disorder that is very serious and a lot of people have, and they were treating it really well from how they depicted somebody with DID. And then the last episode is like big superhero fight with beam going into the sky that's opening up a portal. And they've already talked about how Miss Marvel can open up a door to let them back into their world. So I'm just like, please don't make this door a big beam into the sky and a big superhero fight happens.
Yeah.
Please. I
Yeah.
really do not want that.
That's actually, I feel like that's how they like solve everybody's problems, or how the finality is sort of accented with a portal or some kind of battle in the sky. We got that in
Yeah.
WandaVision. We got that all the way back when Loki brought in the Chitauri
Mm.
to fight the Avengers.
It's in
Um,
like every superhero movie now is this big portal.
yeah, I mean, America Chavez uh, is only portals in the sky.
Right. Yeah, fair.
Oh, geez. We should just create. We should just talk about portals.
That could be a fun video, is just like talking about every portal that's ever happened in a
Yeah,
superhero movie.
yeah. It's an aesthetic for Marvel.
Suicide Squad, it's in everything.
Oh, it is in Suicide Squad.
Suicide
It's
Squad,
in.
it's in
It's in.
Justice League. Even there's a big door that's opening, and the Flash has to reverse the door opening with Darkseid coming through. It's
Yeah,
in like,
Peacemaker. The big
yeah,
cow comes from a hole in the sky, or the big cow is a hole.
yeah. It's kind of just
But
everything is always just like a big portal in the sky. I'm sure it's happened even like in a couple of times in Avengers movies. Transformers,
mm,
actually, Transformers, they even had the big beam come out of the pyramid.
yeah,
They've done the pyramid twice now. Yeah, so
it's a theme, folks. It's a
I'm
theme.
as long as it's not a big portal in the sky, I'll be happy with the ending of Miss Marvel. And I'm happy I don't know where things are going. And I'm happy she has like a new origin. It's super fun.
Mhm.
Um uh I was curious to see who the bad guy was going to be too. Like it's so this is kind of like a fun new villain that they can introduce for her. Um and I hope in future installments we can get Einstein. That he's the bird.
Oh, the bird.
The bird, yeah, like the cockatoo, the guy that's like a got a cockatoo head. He's like a clone of Einstein that was spliced with a bird. Is his origin. It's so fun. So he's like super smart, and he's like kidnapping kids to use for his like science experiment. So it's like directly involved with Kamala, and like why some of like her classmates stuff are like going missing. It's such a fun story. It's like her first big bad guy that she faces in the comics, but without being like, criminals on the streets, like becoming a superhero.
Yeah.
So uh that could be fun in later seasons. I think it's too late to bring in somebody like that for the show, but a hint could be cool too, of
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. But
Yeah. Like I get second season somewhere down the line vibes.
yeah,
There's no way that they're gonna
yeah.
not give this girl more.
It could even be like a Young Avengers story, because I feel like
Mm,
they're building up to Young Avengers, right? They're introducing a bunch of new characters. They've got Yolana, Kate Bishop,
mm,
Kamala. You've got Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie Lang.
mhm,
You've got like a bunch of like really young both characters, actors, and Avengers that they're bringing together. That I feel like it's just inevitable that they're doing like a Young Avengers type story.
mhm. Yeah. And
Down for that.
weirdly, Spider-Man is going to be the Iron Man of this group, probably.
You think so? Spider-Man? Yeah, I could. I mean, yeah, who knows?
Well, I guess there is a new Captain America.
Hmm. Yeah, we feel like he won't be in a Young Avengers. He'll just be
No.
like
Oh no, but he'll
the
just be
leader of
like,
the Avengers. Yeah,
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 up there watching over everybody, making sure
yeah.
they don't fuck it up too
And they
much.
all kind of have like a hero that they're connected with that could bring them into the group too, right? Like,
America's got Doctor Strange.
yeah, America's got Doctor Strange. She's got Captain Marvel, which it's confirmed that she is going to be in the Marvels,
Mhm,
the Kamala Khan. So that's fantastic.
mhm.
Uh, uh, Hawkeye with Kate Bishop, like all of these young Avengers kind of have other veteran Avengers that can kind of bring them in and help form this like second group of Avengers. That could
Yeah.
be pretty fun to have. So
All right.
see.
It's going to be an exciting time. And if you want more exciting times, that's a joke. But the other episodes of Full Volume Podcast are available. on
Yeah.
www.comicbooksyndicate.com. That is where you can listen to this one that you're listening to right now again if you want to. Yeah. And then all the rest of the junk we talked about before, including Peacemaker, because there was such a long lull between shows.
I finally watched all of that too. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
It might be the best thing that DC has done
Mm-hmm.
since like The Dark Knight. It's so fun.
Oh yeah. They really they really I hope they don't like James Gunn us to death though.
Mm.
Because I feel like that is something that they would do.
I'm fine with James gunning to death as long as it's characters like Peacemaker that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
It's the same with like the Guardians, right? Like nobody knows who the Guardians of the Galaxy are, except for the fact that James Gunn stepped in and took these characters that nobody knew or cared about and like gave them like a new life and a new kind of like role.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the comics, they're not like goofy like they are here. They're like they try and take themselves seriously. So like, and it didn't work. That's why it's not like a famous comic until now.
Mm-hmm.
So let him James Gunn wherever he wants, as long as it's not like Superman or something acting weird. It would be like I think that's when it'll become like too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I'm not totally worried about it. I feel like
Give James Gunn a Frogman spinoff. Let's do it.
yes,
We need it.
Frogman, you heard it right here. Okay, so I want to thank the brilliant, the effervescent Joshua Murr-VELL for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're
That was
welcome.
fun.
It's such
Oh,
an early morning, but that's fine. Well,
yes.
yeah. And yeah, join us next week. We promise we'll try not to make it too late this time. It was supposed to drop yesterday, but like whatever. We've always been on schedule. One time, okay, two times that we're late, you can deal with
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah, yeah. We hear you, Amsterdam. You're listening to us in the past anyway. Anyway,
true. Hmm.
uh oh, okay. Yeah, join us next week when we talk about Miss Marvel episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah,
Cool.
Harvey Rent will be back. I hope. Maybe not in one piece.
Unless he's still recovering.
Yeah, because I don't know if you've been through Toronto Pride, but it goes through you.
Damn.
So until next time, keep it loud.
Keep it at full volume.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.